Good day, night, evening, whatever time may be, ladies and gentlemen. This is Darth Chain. Hopefully you guys are having a good one. Sorry this is taking so long to get out. I've been on a burnout period again. But today we're going to be covering Fractal 25, the Shattered Island Observatory. Or the Shattered Observatory, sorry. This is the last one of the Chaos Trilogy, I'm going to call. So that's Chaos, Nightmare, and now Shattered Observatory. So let's get into it. So this fractal is interesting. It has a lot of mechanics here and there, but nothing too bad. The boss fights are interesting to say the least. But you're obviously going to start off in a broken fractal lobby, which is really cool to see. But you're also going to have this boss that spawns from this bubble. So you got to wait for the NPCs to stop yelling at each other, and then the boss will spawn. So, Skorvald the Shattered. Now, Skorvald has a couple attacks. He has a little ball attack. He has this attack where he kind of shoots to the left and right of him, and then this Pac-Man attack is what I'm going to call it. He has a split at 66 and 33% HP. And one of the things you have to watch out for is with his left-right attack, every single time you come back, so after the 66 and after the 33, he'll add one more attack onto that. So when you're about 50 HP and he does this attack, he'll do 2 shots instead of just the one. And when you're at, like, say 25, he'll do 3 shots at higher level fractals. He will also have a kick where he shoots out this little beam of energy kind of thing on the ground, and then a hammer smash where he'll make a V. Now, at 66% HP and 33, he will summon these veteran flux anomalies. These guys are relatively easy to take down. Just DPS them down and you are good. There's going to be 4, and you just want to jump into these little like uprising things to jump to the next flux anomaly. But again, it's just DPS them down. They don't have anything special going on with them. And once you take down all 4, Skorvald will be stunned in the center of the arena, so you can just jump back and easily continue the fight. He'll start this other attack where he'll spin his staff above the ground and then slam it down, causing the shockwave. Then he will randomly target somebody and shoot a V out in their direction. Easiest way to do that is just keep on moving, like left or right, just barely. And when it stops moving, just dodge out of it and you'll be safe from the attack. So the other thing we have to watch out for are solar blooms, which should be popping up right here. There we go. Now, as you can see, it's connected to me by a little chain of lightning, and they're fairly easy to knock away. You just got to hit them once or twice. But they do blow up after a bit of time, so that's something you have to watch out for. Try and keep it pushed back against the edge of the ring. We will be seeing those later on in this fractal, so keep your eyes open for those. So 33% HP, another flux anomaly round. Again, just DPS them down and you're good. They'll start doing some new moves where they'll make little geysers come out, but the fight's pretty much over after that. Just keep your solar blooms away, keep dodging the attacks and DPS them down. Or damage him down, guess I should say, and you are good. So once he hits 1 HP or 0 HP, he'll get stunned, and he will sit there and complain about how he's so close to freedom. And then a new little updrafting will spawn and a tear in the skybox, I should say. And you'll get thrown in. You'll have this quick little cutscene right here where you're going further into the mists than what the Mistlock Sanctuary gives you. And we get to go into the final area of this fractal, which is really cool. So the first thing you'll notice with this fractal, or this part of the fractal, is your jump is significantly higher, and you have a special skill called Nova Launch, as you can see me using it right there. We will be needing a Nova Launch later on. It does help with movement around the maps and stuff like that, and so does the increased jump range. So we're going to go to the left, because that's the only way we can go. So you're going to run into all of these golems here, but that NTPD Mark 5.1 is the one we got to get close to. Once we do, it'll freak out and run away, and all of the holographic golems that were behind us are going to turn hostile. There we go. So these guys are pretty easy. If you got Epidemic or just AoEs, you'll take them down fairly quickly. Nothing too bad to worry about. And once they're all dead, the little jump pad will start up. You can jump over here to this elite enemy. Now you're going to take him down a bit and he's going to run away. He is kind of a mid-boss before the actual mid-boss. Next thing you'll notice is this ball. Now, if you look at the ground here, you'll see arrows going through the ground, and that will always indicate where the ball is going to bounce next. So we're going to hit here, and then the ball jumps up there, but we missed it. This pattern is always the same, so I'm actually going to stand back, watch this. It's going to bounce here, here, jump to the middle, jump to that side. It'll go up that cliff face, and then up the other cliff face, and then it'll always land right here. And when that happens, you'll get your next updraft to continue on into the Fractal. Now, when you get up here, there's going to be a lot more of the veteran toy golem things. DPS them down again, or AoE them down, and then there will be another little jump pad you can utilize. Now, Nova Launch is good for right here. You're going to need it. So you're going to jump, and then you're going to use Nova Launch onto the ground to clear that gap, because you can use it in midair. Then you get to finish off facing this elite enemy. He's fairly easy, just typical, just get him down ASAP, and your group is good to continue on with the Fractal. Now, the real mid-boss gets to spawn now, where she's over here, so you're going to use the Nova Launch. Now, my favorite one over here is this one, because she is bowling. Virastra. Now, the way you start the fight is you stand inside one of the orb landing locations in the middle. Now, Virastra is an interesting fight. I'm just going to call her V from now on, because there's a lot of mechanics coming up here in a second. So when she turns hostile, she'll do a quick little 3 attack and then cause a shockwave. I think I'm going to get hit by it when it first goes. So 1, 2, 3. There's a shockwave, and I got hit. But she's also got a bunch of clones of herself. Now, V will usually stand in one of these 4 corners, the square of the map. In the beginning, just take down the ads because they do arc lightning between each other, and it deals a lot of damage if your group is not prepared for it. When you take down an elite enemy, they will turn into veterans. I think after you take out the veterans, they're done. But you also have to watch out for the little explosions all over the ground. Nope, I was wrong. So when you defeat the veterans, they turn to smaller basic forms of her. In higher levels, the floor hazard is just insane. It deals so much damage, it's not even funny. But on the lower levels, you're good. And then the next thing you'll see is that bubble there in the middle of the map. We're actually going to be using that here in a minute. As you can see, Sage of Frost had a skull over his head and didn't get into the bubble in time. That's what it's going to be used for. I'll show it to you here in a second. So again, we get into the corner and we start DPSing her down. She has a 66-33% split as well, and she has a little bit of fun when she goes through with it. So once she gets out of stun, she's going to send somebody to corporeal reassignment, which is what that skull and crossbone skull is. So as you see, there goes the person right there, and they run into the bubble. Now, if you have that skull, you want to stay in there until after it finishes channeling. When it does, it'll just blow up in that bubble. You won't be damaged, and none of your allies will be damaged. Now, when V splits into her 4 forms right here, you just have to break the break bar to get rid of the clone. Once all 4 are broken, she'll reform back into just 1. When you do it on the 33% split, a 5th one will appear in the middle of the room that will just keep on attacking. You do not have to worry about that one. So now she's coming back. V is going to do 1, 2, 3. There we go, dodge that. And now she wants to play a game, and here comes the ball again. So you can see where it's going to bounce. Someone had corporeal reassignment and did get in the bubble. But on whatever path you go into, the path that the ball will take will always be the same for that level. So level 25, it'll always be this small little circle around her. You don't need a lot of people to do this. You just need 1 person to be on the orb duty, and your group's good to go. On higher difficulties, you may want to do 2 people just because the ball has a very sporadic bounce cycle. and Nova Launch will not get you to where you need to be all the time. Now I should be getting corporeal reassignment here in a second. There we go. You are doomed to explode. Find a containment immediately. So you can see a little white circle slowly shrinking. That tells you how much time you have left until the corporeal reassignment detonates. So that's a really good indicator for when you need to get in that bubble. So the smaller that inner white circle is, the quicker you need to be in that bubble. So here is the orb bounce again. We're coming up on 33% honor, so there goes the split. So just get rid of the clones and you're good. I think she'll do one 3-step attack and then she'll kneel down in the middle and you won't have to worry about her. But once you do that, the fight is pretty much over. It's just getting rid of that last 33% HP. Keep in mind for when your corporeal reassignment is and all that fun stuff. Now, when you finish up with this with V, she'll actually upgrade your Nova Launcher to where it does damage and actually breaks stun, which is going to be good for the next boss coming up. As you can see, it's called the Hypernova Launch now. So we're going to come back to this little area. We got to wait for Yoko to spout a lot of nonsense and insert the energy we got, and we go into the final area. So this is where the final battle takes place, and you talk with Yoko, make sure everybody's ready, and then it teleports you straight there. Now when you do, you're going to run into solar blooms again. There's going to be 4 blooms and 4 pillars, so you got to get the blooms right up against the pillars. The reason why that is because the blooms will actually blow up the pillars and get the final boss's attention. Now you cannot knock these solar blooms off the stage, they'll just keep on bouncing off the wall like this. And staying in the electric current does hurt. But it's level 25, so I'm like, I can stand in this and be perfectly fine. So there we go, and now Ark is mad at us. So we met Ark in the Chaos and Nightmare Fractal. In Chaos he was our enemy, in Nightmare he was our ally, and here in Shattered Observatory he is our enemy yet again. He's actually getting ready to tear the entire Mists apart, which is really bad. So the Ark fight is pretty interesting. So when you see that little blue line connect you and Ark, you want to turn away from him or else he's going to fear you. If he does fear you, you can use your Hypernova Launch to break that sun and just ignore it. Now, Ark's weapons are the Pirate Cannon, or Hork's Cannon, and a staff. But he also has a lot of fun little techniques at 70% HP and 40% HP. So there's the thing again, I turned away and avoided the attack. You'll see that the pillars are starting to recreate themselves, and what happens when that goes through is he gets a damage buff and a incoming damage reduction. So for each tower and each stack, he gets a 25% HP or 25% damage buff. So at 4 towers, he's doing 100% more damage. He also takes 10% less damage for every tower that is up and connected to him. So at regular intervals, he'll start charging an attack like this. As you can see, he also has a hammer. You want to push the solar blooms into the towers to blow them up to deactivate Ark's attack. This attack is another one of those little board wipe things. You can either stand in the bubble to avoid the attack, or if you have enough CC, you can break his break bar and just make sure the attack doesn't pop off in the first place. So you're just going to run around him, do the attacks, all that fun stuff. So there's a 70%, and the first time he splits, he's going to summon the Archdiviner and a bunch of fanatics. You can usually just go after the Archdiviner itself and epidemic off of him to kill the fanatics fairly easily. If not, just be warned that if you kill the Archdiviner first before the fanatics, Ark will come back with the fanatics still on the board. So here he comes again. He still has Bork's cannon that he likes to attack with. Here comes the towers again. At higher level difficulties, when he does the split, he will fire onto the stage a lot more than he is right now. You just have to watch what you're doing. Here's another attack of his. He'll kind of spin around in a circle, create little donuts that lift you up in the air, and then drop you down for a little bit of damage. So there's the solar blooms again, taking down the towers. If you don't take down all the towers, he'll do an attack, and then the solar blooms will respawn. So we got the 40 split right here, and he's going to summon the Brazen Gladiator from the Chaos Fractal. And he's also going to summon the Chop, Blight, Plink, and Dock golems to help with the fight. You can, again, use the same technique. Just go after the Brazen Gladiator and Epidemic off of him. He does not have the shield in this one, but he does have a few new attacks, as you've been seeing, the swords striking up to the ground and the push ring, as far as I can tell what it is. And then he comes in with his staff for the last 40% of his HP, and he will start throwing the little red orbs at you as an attack. Easy enough to dodge, not too much of a pain in the butt to deal with. But that is essentially what the arc fight is. Just avoid the AoE. If you see the circle, you can either, if you see the giant red orb, you can either jump into the protective dome or try to break his break bar. Communicate with your party to see which one they want to do. This one was 4-man, so we just went our own ways because it's level 25 and most of us could take the hit. But once Arc is dead, that is the Fractal. You'll get your chest fairly quickly. It spawns right there in the middle. Yay, level 25 Fractal. And if you want a finish for the story, you can jump over here with the Nova launch and listen to the Desa and Arc dialogue. There's a lot of it. It's really interesting and kind of gives a lot more lore to Fractals of the Mists. Other than that, I do want to thank these people up on screen right now, and I do apologize for how long this took to get out. Hope you guys are ready for Halloween, which is supposed to start tomorrow at time of recording. Other than that, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and that completes the Fractal Guide yet again, because this Fractal got added not so long ago. I've been enjoying Path of Fire a lot. If you guys would like to see a video on my thoughts of Path of Fire, let me know down below, and I'll think about making it. Other than that, do take care. Later.